Yo fam, happy Friday guys. So we are seeing a rejection. We are not getting through this $65,000-$66,000 zone. We have all these resistances ahead over here. And now we're starting to see an aggressive push to the downside. So I want to speak what this means. Where are we looking for bounce zones, right? And where are we looking at acceleration zones? Then at the same point, where are the next trade setups that I'm seeing in the market right now? I'm seeing a bunch of liquidity sitting lower down. So I want to speak around that liquidity grab. I've also seen that there's no more shorting liquidity right now. Right, so a lot of shorts did get hit from the previous jump off. Now the question is, after the long liquidation areas that we're looking for, what's next? So guys, smash up the like, smash the subscribe button. Let's go.
I try and help everyone in my space, and this is what I get. I try and fight the devils, but inside I'm just like 𝗦𝗏𝗧𝗏. Welcome to Sheldon Show.
Fam, I want to introduce you to the new host. His name is yo. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Hope you guys are doing good. Again, day by day, we soldier on through the markets. We are literally just in that trouble phase, right? A little bit trouble phase. So again, I made the decision a couple of weeks ago, get good entries, zoom out, put stop losses, and be patient, right? So I'm sitting with longs at 58, I'm sitting with longs at 59, and I've got some more money in the market that I'm looking for some more entries. Other than that, when it comes to me trading the market, I'm looking for good entries, stop loss areas, and then I move my stop losses up to entry, right? But it's quite clear right now, the way to survive is getting high time frame entries at good areas, being patient, and loading up on key important zones as that happens. And at the same point, slowly, day by day, loading up the long-term portfolio, right? The best plays in the market right now for the next cycle return. So again, we just jump in here and just remind you guys where we are weekly. This is where we are weekly. This is where we are fighting. Right, so as it stands right now, we do have a rejection candle in play. This is not so much a very, very bearish rejection weekly candle. If we actually end up dropping and Bitcoin closes around the 61,000, 60,000, we actually see this extend more to the downside with a bigger body full by the end of the week. Very likely the next week candle is going to be green again. Right, so what we are waiting for is, you can see there's this trend over here that's basically starting to come into play. Right, so basically meaning that once we do finally get above these areas here, that's where we can kind of look for the short squeezes. Until we are sitting below here, we're kind of looking for lower buys and accumulating in these areas, right? The good sign is we are still obviously holding these areas here, right, which is the big zone. So for me, it's quite clear. Anywhere I can buy close to the bottom here as possible with stop losses over here, kind of the best plays in the market right now, but we're definitely going through time capitulation. Right now, again, any big pull down here, right? I'm still kind of looking at a bit of a bullish candle next week. Then I want to speak around if we have a buy up, what we want to see to turn kind of bullish this week. We do want to be above 66,000 for a possible push to 70,000 next week, right? So we need to see that kind of happen. Anything that we kind of form below 65,000. Right, by the end of the week, let's say we start to push up, we start to have a little bit of a carry up to the upside. Very likely we'll see a bit of redness next week, and then possible push up in the next following weeks after that. So for now, the simple play is looking for buys in this area over here when it comes to high time frame. When it comes to liquidity, right, we did wipe liquidity out here at 65,000. We wiped more liquidity out at 65,400. And now, as you can see, we're starting to form a nice little yellow patch, right, sitting here at the early 61,000s. Okay, after that, not really seeing much liquidity in the market. Right, you look at all different plays here, not much liquidity. So it's important to see how we react at that zone. Okay, but if we get to a point where we hit that zone, we then look at a possible strong vibe and there's no liquidity in the market, very likely a real move is coming. Right, for now, the market is literally just moving to where it is going to make money. So what does that mean and how does that jump in? So just before I jump in there, remember guys, anyone in Bybit EU, there's a link below in the description, right? Bybit back in EU, right? A lot of exciting things coming over there. So there's a lot of incredible sign-up bonuses and stuff, but you can trade with Bybit again in Europe, right? For me, Bybit's one of the best. I traded it to this day all the time, right? And there are a lot of different ecosystems. They got their card, they got their money system, they got many different things in play, right? So there's a link below in the description, sign up. If you're in EU looking for a really good exchange, and obviously look at all of the bonuses that you get there below. And two more things, we do have a very cool special on Bitfunded. So guys, best thing right now in a market that is struggling when it comes to kind of chopping around and putting too much liquidity on the line, we have prop trading, right? We're bid funded and they have 50% off right now. So any packages you buy right now, remember, you pay $100 to unlock a $5,000 package, right? You pass the 2 levels or the first level, depends you buy 1 step or 2 step, right? You then get to trade with $5,000 on a 5x leverage, $25,000 with $100, right? Not your capital. You get to keep 80% of the profits that you make above that. So here we go, 50% off right now. It is ending in the next 2 days. So there's a lot of big opportunities to buy bid funded packages right now. Just to show you guys the packages, I'm obviously busy trading up my accounts right now. I'm trading $155,000 accounts. It was at 159 yesterday after a little drop off. I got stopped in some profits, but I'm busy loading up. But just to show you guys what it looks like, new challenges over here. Here's all the different challenges that you get. 50% off all of them right now, right? So 50% off 1-step challenges. So 1 step and pass, right? Here's the prices. We've got a $50 package, right? We've got a $74 package. We've got a $99 package. Guys, incredibly good prices here. Really good. $49 for a package is incredibly cheap, right? $74 for a $10,000 package, $99. So again, there's a link below in the description. Let me show you guys where it is over here. Okay, 𝗬𝗪𝗪𝗧. Wow, we've got a very busy description here. Here we go. Here's the bit funded one over here, as well as you have the 𝗫𝗵𝗏 section over here. Okay, let's jump straight back into it. This is the plays that I'm seeing right now. So let's jump in over here and go through the simplicity of where we're at right now. So again, there is a wall that we have rejected on these previous highs. We do have 2 big walls here. These are basically the walls separating from us to mid 70,000s. We have rejected, so now automatically we've got to think around supports. So the way to determine supports, right, is we kind of look at where we are right now. We are making an uprising channel, so that is a slightly bearish pattern that we are seeing. In order to kind of erase this, we need to clear and start moving above this pretty quick. Now, again, we are actually coming to support. So the first play for today is we actually do see that little buy up that I was speaking around, and then probably start off on Monday to the downside, and then possibly some strength to the upside, right? That's the first play. Okay. However, the bearish pattern, I do have to keep that in mind. So I'm looking at slightly lower down targets, especially where that liquidity is sitting, right? The liquidity is sitting lower down to 61, late 60,000s, right? So 2 big areas I'm still waiting patiently to load up, specifically on bigger size entries, right? Are these 2 zones over here, right? The first one is here at the right under the 61,000, between 60,700 and 61,100. And then the next ones are sitting at the low 59,000s. Stop losses under the previous low, right? That is the key plays that I'm looking for strong movements to the upside. Then what we have when we have to time capitulation, what's very likely to happen is either from here, we go there and then play around. This will be the breakout trend, okay? Or we will do something like this, right? And then start moving up. So we're probably looking in the areas of a real breakout in the next 7 to 10 days. That doesn't mean I'm not looking for entries, right? Because it takes time to get back up over there. I'm looking for entries with the lowest risk to rewards right now, right? If I'm looking for the move again up to the 70,000s, I'm looking the lower that I can buy down, the better the risk to reward, the better my entries, right? When it comes to altcoins right now, so altcoins are sitting on support. Over here, a key thing with alts, right, is to just keep in this top trend over here, right? That will be the breakout trend of when they're ready. For now, we are looking at downside. We have 618s here. We do have possible lows. The dominance is starting to slowly strengthen up. Okay, it's slowly starting to move to the upside, which means alts are catching a little bit to the downside, yet again into big areas of support. When it comes to USDT dominance, right, I'm still bearish on this. Right? All we're looking for is possibly a little push a little bit higher up and then a drop to the downside and a big drop to the downside. So again, when this chart's going down, markets are bullish. When the chart's going up, markets are bearish. Therefore, here is where I'm looking for a strong rejection and a push to the downside and a bigger leg, bigger move up than what we've seen in a couple of weeks, right? It's probably a nice big move loading. That's us getting out of this phase. A big one to pay attention to is the big ETH weekly breakouts coming for a retest. So I do think there's good zones to accumulate ETH in these areas of this 1.7 to the 1.8 type of area, right? This looks like good zones when it comes to ETH. Sol might get a little bit cheaper. I'm actually looking at Sol more buys at 70 to 71 and even possibly 60, $66 to $68 as big zones for Sol. Stop loss is sitting under the $60 range, right? Things like AVAX, things like Chainlink, things like Near Protocol. Near Protocol is actually getting bearish, so we might get some opportunities of getting some Near Protocol in this area of the 1.7s. Right, 𝗬ie, Zcash is just holding incredibly strong right now. So now it's about taking out your book, looking at the best options we have right now when it comes to the alts that you want to buy, putting in the key support areas and buying and loading up for the long term. Trades is quite simple. As we are coming down, you can zoom in on the 4-hour, you can track down the trades, you can still see we're quite a bit of time away from a breakout, right? So that is when I will start ejecting into leverage positions. When it comes to things like stock markets, right, it's important to kind of navigate this at the moment. That is what's seeing some trouble, very likely what's bringing down Bitcoin right now, okay? And the bad thing that we're currently seeing right now, we'll see how we react today. We need to see a bounce pretty soon today, but we could be seeing a move down of up to around 2 to 3% into these supports pretty soon, right? So things like gold, gold, I'm actually really paying attention for some big buys. I'm going to be going very long on gold pretty soon, like very long. We're still a couple of days out from possibly a real breakout, right? We'll see. Today's kind of got a bit of time to get very bearish. If not, I'm going very long on gold up to 4 or 5. So stay tuned next week. I'm literally opening monster positions on that move over there. Now paying attention to. Let's see how oil's looking. Oil's looking strong, but coming into resistance. So again, for me, there's a lot of fundamentals that go around, but this is telling me some good news could maybe come out what's going on in the world. Let's see, right? It's either going to escalate or there's going to be a rejection and a bounce within the market. So keep that in mind. But this, if I was a type of, like if I'm trading oil itself, like I might be looking at a rejection here. And what that obviously means with things going on in the world, you can kind of put those thoughts together. Silver's looking quite bearish. Dollar index is looking pretty bullish right now. So again, we just have to keep concerned that the stock market ain't looking too healthy. Look for good areas, good levels. Focus on high time frame buys, not getting liquidated, not getting this. If you want to trade leverage, I would say a Bitfunded is an incredible route right now. Smaller bits of your money, you pass, you got lots more capital you can trade with, but you're risking a very little bit of yours. Then the last thing I want to share to you guys is we do have free newsletters, right? We've got the Good Morning Crypto by Crypto Banter. Right, this is fundamentals that are happening in the market right now. This is free information, incredible, right? And you got Daily Candle as well. This comes down to charts, any important charts that we are seeing and best charts we're seeing in the markets, you will find in these newsletters, links below in the description. Have a fantastic day, have a fantastic weekend. Lots of love, guys. Bye-bye.